Hello and welcome to the Crisler Center for today's women's basketball showdown between the 19th ranked Michigan Wolverines and the visiting Appalachian State Mountaineers. I'm Coley Hoving along with Daniel Olson, and we're excited for a little holiday basketball here.
Yeah, we've got a little snow dusting on the ground here in Ann Arbor. It's winter time, finally. Feels like it hasn't snowed that much this fall, but Wolverines have been playing some pretty good basketball leading into this one, so we should have a good one on our hands, folks.
Although last time out, and that was 9 days ago, so there will be some rust to shake off. They suffered a 3-point loss on the home floor to the Toledo Rockets in a game where they shot well enough. They played pretty good defense, but the Rockets shot the lights out in this building, even with the Wolverines' massive size advantage. Similar dynamic here with App State being a little shaky to start the season, giving up a lot of talent, giving up a lot of size. So they'll be looking to put on a shooting display to stick in this one.
Yeah, I look for the Wolverines to use their size to their advantage. The Rockets were able to had smaller players score most of their points in the last game, and we look for App State's a smaller team, maybe have size sometimes, less size sometimes can mean a little more quickness laterally, be able to get to the basket, and we'll see if Michigan's adjusted a little bit. Toledo's definitely a good test, and this App State team is not that great, so Michigan shouldn't have any troubles being able to establish themselves inside, be able to score some points, go to the free throw line, and use their length on defense to make it difficult for Appalachian State.
And one more storyline, Kim Barnes-Arico, coaching her 11th season, going for her 498th career win. She's had 9 20-win seasons for the Wolverines. Last year's Elite 8, Sweet 16 before that. So we'll be monitoring that situation as she works towards a career milestone.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Bressler Center for today's non-conference matchup featuring and your University of Michigan Wolverines. At this time, we'd like to join the Michigan women's basketball team as they stand to demonstrate their fight for unity and inclusion with the plane of Lift Every Voice and Sing. At this time, as the police remain standing, remove your hats. Active duty veterans taking their caps on while rendering the military salute. And join us in honoring America and those who protect it with the performance of our national anthem. The anthem will be led today by Cecilia Petrush.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes
huge thank you to Emily and the rest of the Crisler Center crew here for that beautiful introduction. And hopefully it put everyone at home in the mood for some basketball. The atmosphere is right.
Yes, it is. It certainly is. We've got a good one on our hands here today. And look forward, something that I'm interested to watch is how Michigan kind of responds from this 9 days off. Obviously, we talked about their last time out against Toledo, losing a close game at home, which is never a fun way to lose. Especially, they had a perfect season going, right? This first loss of their year, and we'll see how they bounce back from it. I will say they were down 13 in that game, so to show some fight and some resiliency to get back into the game, I think is a sign that this is a quality team. And kind of looking into the future a bit as well is that they play North Carolina, a really good team. It'll be a ranked matchup, assuming Michigan doesn't lose this game on the 20th. So upcoming, massive game, and we'll see. Hope if they're staying in the present and not looking too far ahead into the future.
Yeah, this should be a tune-up. They do have one ranked win on the year. It was at number 18 Baylor down in Estero, Florida during that Golf Showcase Classic where the Wolverines went 3-0, picked up wins over Air Force, South Florida, and Baylor. As you mentioned, they've already proved their tenacity. Facing adversity in all three of those games, maybe less so in Air Force, but South Florida and Baylor had leads of greater than 5 points in the fourth quarters of those games, and Michigan came back to win both of them by pretty comfortable margins, especially with Layla Filia hitting a massive three to go up on Baylor after struggling for much of the second half.
And Baylor's a very solid team. Consistently, year in, year out in the tournament, trying to make noise in the tournament, Final Four appearances. So that's a very good win for this Michigan team, and something that they're definitely trying to build on as this young season starts to progress into the middle portion and into Big Ten play. Past the North Carolina game up next week, they've got some big games in the Big Ten coming up, and it's important to take care of games like this, right, to make sure that the fundamentals are in the right spot and you're playing the right way.
And while talking about the resumes, looking at App State's, it might be lacking in a few areas. They are 3-6, but 2 of those wins have come over Division II squads, including a Lees McRae team that is 0-9 in Division II. App State has severe shooting issues. They're shooting just 25% from 3 and under 40% from the field this year. In their wins, however, and in the games that they kept close, they've managed to tick those numbers up a bit, and the offense runs through. Janae Sanders, cousin of Steph Curry, niece of Muggsy Bogues. She comes from a storied basketball family, and she, as we've been saying all day, is the baller to watch on that App State sideline.
Yeah, certainly in upsets, it's typically 1 or 2 players that have a massive impact on the game. She's got the capabilities of scoring 20-plus points, and that's probably what it's going to take. App State's going to need her to do something special tonight if they want a chance, but
as you said, it is 1 or 2 players, and looking at this App State roster, there's not much scoring capability outside of Janae Sanders, but they have a really solid point guard, Faith Olson. Started the season on the bench, since has taken Mariah Frazier's place in the starting lineup. She's a stellar junior player with a good basketball pedigree as well, coming out of D.C., out of a state title team in Northern Virginia. And she's been dishing the ball out here, leading the team in assists after finishing 8th a year ago in primarily a bench role. So she can distribute the ball. She can find the open shooter. They just have to knock some stuff down if they want to stay in this game.
Yeah, they're certainly going to have to make some shots there. I'll be curious to see Michigan's defensive strategy. I'm sure they've done some scouting for this Appalachian State team, and that would be on their radar. Obviously, Sanders would be their number 1 option that they're trying to take away. But then knowing that this Appalachian State team is not the best shooting team, it wouldn't shock me to see Michigan in a bit of a zone today, trying to force them into shooting shots that they're not comfortable taking and don't have success, making. So I would be curious to see what Michigan's strategy is. And like we said, they struggled a little bit against Toledo, guarding players 5'10" or shorter. This is a big Michigan team, so be curious to see their strategy here.
All right, and the tip is off and won by Michigan and put in quickly for 2 by Layla Filia. App State bringing it back at the court. This is Faith Olson at the top of the key. dribbling around, setting up the offense. Going to the right side, dishes it back to Emily Carver at the top of the key. She's dribbling in and she loses the ball. And that one is going to get taken down the floor. Missed shot there, rebound to Olson. Dribbling inside, getting it out to Sanders, spin move inside, uses the pivot, high off the glass, but missed and collected by Kaiser.
You can see some excellent footwork there from Sanders, a little bit of a spin move, got defender up in the air, just couldn't convert the shot.
An errant pass stolen away. Alston taking it down, and a kicked ball there on the defensive end. That was Kaiser there, getting back on D.
A little bit of a sloppy start here from both teams. Both teams trying to play with some tempo, trying to play with some pace, a lot of energy, especially on the App State side. You know, this is a chance to, you know, have a signature win, a memory of a lifetime, and kind of get up for those games.
Quick inbounds play. That one went to Aaliyah Gilbert, and she cashed it in from the right block. Down on the other end, we have Leah Brown missing a shot. It's going to go quickly back the other way, and Brooke Biggett is going to miss the three, collect her own rebound off the deflection. App State slows it down.
Michigan's in this man-to-man defense. Obviously, we see the poor App State shooting there. That was an open look for Brooke that she couldn't knock down.
Olson working the left side, driving inside, floater, and gets it. But that's going to be going the other way, a charge.
That was Emily Kaiser stepping over and taking the charge. Well done there. Beautiful rotation, got the feet set outside of the restricted area. You have to be 100% committed when you're trying to take a charge, and she did that right there, and shot went up and in, but going the other way.
Leah Brown dribbling down the floor, gives it off to Cam Williams, inside to Kaiser. And she's going to knock that one down.
Excellent move by Kaiser, went quick from the block, the little drop step, right hook over the left shoulder, off the glass. Well done. Michigan certainly attacked the paint early on.
That one, Brooke called for a travel right at the top of the key. Good movement by App State, but couldn't get inside, and eventually led to a self-inflicted mistake. Michigan, meanwhile, forcing 22 turnovers a game.
Yeah, Michigan's got quick feet defensively, solid rotations, and they force teams to play faster than they want to, which causes a lot of turnovers and is what Michigan's looking for.
Brown looking for Kaiser. Ball deflected out to Williams. Leah Brown collects it. Left side to Layla Feely in the corner. And I believe her toe dragged across that out-of-bounds baseline there.
You can see the energy from the App State bench, clearly invested in this game, invested in the opportunity to knock off a team like Michigan on their home court. We'll see if that energy persists as Nolan gets a steal.
And takes it in for the easy layup. 6-2 Michigan over App State.
Certainly not going to pull an upset with 3 or 4 turnovers already in this game if App State keeps being this careless with the basketball.
Biggett dribbling against Kaiser. Working, turning to the right side. Inside to Aaliyah, and she's going to finish with the left, falling away. An excellent shot by Aaliyah Gilbert.
There's a foul inside on Williams trying to get into the paint. Michigan's, again, a clear emphasis on using that size to get into the paint. Using their frames to try and create passing angles for easy layups, but a little over aggressive, a little over physical, and that's, bigger bodies on smaller bodies. They're going to get moved around a little bit more, and the refs are going to be able to see that a bit more. So something Michigan's going to have to be a little bit more disciplined with.
Biggett with the corner 3, air ball. Cam Williams collects it, gives it up to Leah Brown, taking it down the middle, guarded closely by Alston. Over to Feely in the corner. Taking it back to the top. Maddie Nolan's got it. Holding it, and back to Felia. They're looking inside to Cam Williams. Cam Williams throws it back out, and that's going to head into the backcourt.
We've seen a bit of a zone from Appalachian State, a little 2-3 zone, which makes sense considering Michigan's size, trying to pack the paint, avoid those easy angles and passes into the post where Michigan's been trying to take advantage of so far. And I think Michigan's happy with their offense at this point. Leah Brown's missed a couple open layups. They're playing with a good pace. They just have to, the turnovers have been an issue for both sides so far.
This one going to go up to Alston, back to Sanders, driving in. And that, I believe, was Emily Carver with the floater inside, bringing it to 6-all. Leah Brown attacking, and is going to get fouled on her way to the hoop.
It's a good aggressive move there by Leah Brown. Like I mentioned earlier, she's missed a couple open shots that I'm sure she'd like to have back, a couple bunnies at the rim, but
she's coming off a tough 3-for-13 game against Toledo.
Yeah,
She's been a little inconsistent, but working her way back from an injury last year. And she hits the first free throw.
She hasn't seemed to quite get into that rhythm that we know she's capable of getting into. She's still averaging almost 14 points. But
it's another one there. She's a 2-time All-Big Ten second-team selection, as well as a former Big Ten Sixth Woman of the Year at Nebraska.
And she's got plenty of experience, this being her 5th year, so valuable piece on the floor for Coach Barnes-Arico.
That one, Carver again, off the rim and out of bounds. That'll stay with App State. App State's been looking for some quick open threes, getting the separation when they can, and trying to get their shooters hot early in the game.
They certainly haven't been scared of shooting the shots, given the percentages that they shoot from three, but they're open looks, and I think Michigan's going to live with some of those looks, just based on percentages, but App State has to take those if they want to win this game today.
Alexis Black trapped by 2 Wolverines. That was Emily Kaiser and Elise Stuck, who had her right near midcourt. App State will retain possession. Screen at the top of the key. Switching over, a double team. Aaliyah Gilbert gets it back to Alexis Black and airballs the 3 there. Out of bounds. Wolverine basketball.
Yeah, another decent look at a 3, and App State just can't seem to convert, and they're hanging in this game with effort and grit on the defensive end right now. Both offenses a little clunky, turnover heavy. Have to give the advantage to Michigan in a game like this where you'd expect them to smooth it out faster than App State does.
Leah Brown with a tough fadeaway off the rim. Bounces back to App State. They're running down the court. They're going to get it to Carver. Back to Janae Sanders. Flying through the lane. Finds Alston underneath. And that in and out for the point guard. Back down the floor to Felia. Over to Nolan. And that one is Elise Stuck, who nails the 3 from the top of the key. And answered by Alston very quickly. Once again, just finding that first shot, getting to the wing, and taking that 3.
Yeah, Michigan is playing with some serious pace on offense, trying to beat the zone before it gets set up, and I think that's the recipe for success for them.
There's Kaiser fighting down low. Excellent footwork. A little drop step and working back to the middle. And App State back down the floor. That's going to be Aaliyah Gilbert inside. And she pivots around before hitting a tough jumper.
Some excellent footwork in the paint so far from these ladies today. Really controlled. They have an understanding of what they're trying to do, the spots that they're trying to get to, and that's something that works in basketball at all levels.
Back inside to Kaiser on the other end. It's going to be 2 for Michigan, putting up 15-11. This one's going to be out to Alexis Black, back to Faith Alston. She's going to get it to Carver for 3, and that one off the back of the rim. Rebound to Elise Stuck. Emily Kampschruder has entered the game, and she's got the ball for the Wolverines. Passes it back around. It's Kaiser underneath. Back to Kampschruder with the fake. Pulls up for a baseline 2, and that's good.
Quick 5 for Kampschruder there, and showing off the jump shot, expanding the range a little bit, and kind of spacing the floor out, which is what Michigan needs in a zone, right? App State is trying to compact the middle, make it difficult for Michigan to get inside, get easy buckets, and rightfully so given their size. So it's going to be important for players like Greta Kampschruder, Maddie Nolan to be able to space the floor, knock down threes. And it's been an interesting matchup between Layla Filia and Janae Sanders so far. Neither star guard really being able to take over this game and control it yet, but obviously Michigan's happy with where they're at. And honestly, I think App State's probably happy with where they're at. They're playing with good effort. They're making, they're taking the shots that they want to take. They're getting some decent looks. They're just not making them. So,
and importantly, they're not letting it get away from them. That's been it's been a big problem where they haven't come out competitive, and they've just been blown out the rest of the way and not been able to fight back in. But here, they're only down 6. Like you said, they've showed that effort, get in the passing lanes on the defensive end, and they just got to hope that some of these open looks start dropping.
Yeah, and I think Michigan defensively, I think they need to do a better job of rotating over to shooters. I know that they're going to let shooters have their shots, but I think there's a difference between a wide open 3 and someone running at you when you're shooting a 3, right? And
exactly.
Any sort of movement in these girls from App State's face, I think will make those shots just that much tougher, and that can be the fine margins of making it and missing it. So I'd like to see a little bit more kind of rotational effort from Michigan on the defensive end.
Although you're seeing a different type of effort, which is a clog in the passing lanes type of effort. This is a turnover-focused team. They've already forced quite a few. And sometimes when you try to get that double, when you try to shift over to block that pass inside, you're going to leave that open shooter. And right. I think they've missed a couple transition layups here. But if those were falling, then you'd say, okay, we'll take that trade-off every time. If they get that slightly more open 3, but we get a 2 every couple trips down the floor, right. with minimal pushback, then we'll accept that.
Well, yeah, Michigan's trying to take advantage of their length defensively, getting in the passing lanes, picking pockets. But I think they can do a better job of using that length to contest some shots, and even if it's not right there in their face with the contest, like the Luke Cornett contest. You know what I'm talking about? The contest from the lane, just anything.
Just put some motion in their
right.
In
anything
their
in their vision, so that it's like the basket and then a blur of the maize and blue, and that the margins could be enough to throw this App State team off.
Zeta Porter's checked in the game and immediately gives it away. That is going to be Maddie Nolan, who takes it down to the other end and puts in the layup with the left hand.
She read that like a book.
Olson drives to the lane very quickly. That one's going to be collected by Mariah Frazier, who lost her starting spot to Olson. Back up to Zeta Porter. Works it inside. Back to Mariah. Zeta Porter working and gets fouled. Nope, traveled. Looking for the foul on Maddie Nolan as she swung the elbows around, but she lost her balance and lost her pivot.
Yeah, it's pretty clear out of the timeout. The first 2 possessions, Michigan's definitely upped the defensive intensity. Maddie Nolan with the steal the previous play, just too far of a pass from the top of the key to the bottom of the wing out on the paint, out on the perimeter, and Nolan read it and went in for the easy layup. And again, Michigan's playing at this pace that I think they're very comfortable with and is forcing App State into some unnecessary mistakes.
Maddie Nolan back out to Filia. That's an errant pass, and it's going to be collected by Aaliyah Gilbert. Back over to number 11, Alston. Back to Gilbert at the top of the key, looking for Sanders. Sanders is working on Filia. Goes to the right. Backs her down and inside. Oh, I believe Filia got a piece of that on the way up. And Filia collects it. Going down the other way is Alyssa Crockett. And Kampschruder, I believe, just committed an offensive foul at the other end. trying to work it inside.
Yeah, a little overzealous, a little over-aggressive there. Tried to get to her spot and ran through the defender. Obvious charge there. Easy call for the officials.
This one's going back to Janae Sanders, going to the right. And excellent play by Crockett again. She's going to get it to, that is Camp Schroeder inside. And Felia takes it in off the back of the rim. Rebound collected by Emily Carver.
It's a beautiful behind the back dribble at the top of the key to get to the right side of the lane and throw up a little off balance layup there on the foul attempt.
That was Alexis Black, who hasn't collected her first points, but will have the opportunity to here at the line.
I talk about Michigan playing with pace offensively and getting to their spots at the rim, and they're definitely doing a good job of that, but I think when they get to the rim, they have to convert them better. They've left kind of some bunnies out there, and I'm sure Coach Barnes-Arico is not happy with sort of the execution of the shots when they get them. Because that's what they're looking for, right? You're looking for layups as a basketball team because they're the easiest shots on the floor, and Michigan's getting a lot of them, and they're not quite converting. Obviously, Felia had a good chance down on this end last possession, so we'll see if Michigan can kind of settle themselves into the pace that they're playing at.
Brown back in the game. Gets it over to Kyra Evans. Evans to Nolan. 3 off the mark. But that's going to be knocked back in bounds by an excellent effort by Alyssa Crockett. However, it did lead to a foul on Maddie Nolan. Good fight, though. You like to see that. Ball going out of bounds. Yes. Diving for it, going it back in, and Nolan just checking an App State player in the pursuit. Shea Harris is checked in for App State and immediately whips a nice pass downstairs to Schloss. Although she is able to put that in for the Mountaineers.
App State's kind of hanging around here in this first quarter. Michigan hasn't been able to establish themselves defensively as well as they'd like to. I'm sure they're happy with the offense and would like those bunnies to go, but credit to App State for playing with intensity and effort and making this tough on Michigan.
Leah Brown behind the back. Out to Nolan from way downtown. That one rims out. Collected underneath by Brooke Biggett, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. It's 19-15, Michigan Wolverines.
Certainly, App State is probably happier with their quarter than Michigan is. 19 points in a quarter for Michigan, you'll take that. But given how many layups that they kind of left at the rim, how many points they kind of left at the rim, they should be at about 25 right now. And
yeah, absolutely.
Defensively, App State's been able to get to their spots and layups. I mean, they've made 1 3-point shot, and Michigan just hasn't been able to garner any separation so far in this game.
Yeah, so Michigan is 8 for 14 from the field. That's 57%. But they have committed 6 turnovers already. Taking a look at App State, they've got 7. So this has turned out to be a sloppy game more than anything.
Yeah, Janae Sanders, the kind of star we pointed to, has 0 points.
Absolutely, they've been doing a good job containing her. And she's been getting into the lane, using a little bit of footwork and just finding, hey, she can't finish it off.
And Layla Feely has had some excellent defense, and I will commend her for that. And she's just done a good job of moving her feet, keeping Sanders in front of her. She's used her pivots while Sanders has, but Feely's, kept those feet chopping, kept them moving, and really made it difficult, which is all you can ask for, right? When trying to guard the opposing team's most explosive offensive player, is they're going to get theirs because they're talented and they're skilled, but just trying to limit their impact is all you can ask for. And, so far, through one quarter, Layla Filia has had the upper hand on the defensive side of that.
Although arguably Janae Sanders has had the upper hand on her defensive side, as Filia has 2 points on 2 shots with 2 turnovers, despite playing 9 minutes there in the first half, or in the first quarter rather.
It's a little bit of a defensive battle between the two offensive stars,
but they're outsourcing the points elsewhere. As we were saying, Camp Schroeder's got 5. Maddie Nolan's got 4 points on 4 shots. And over on App State's side, Aaliyah Gilbert, who's making just her 3rd start of the season after beginning the year on the bench, is 3 for 3 for 6 points. 2 steals for the sophomore.
Yeah, Michigan's getting out-rebounded right now despite their size advantage. And I think that's probably a statistic to look at in terms of the game flow and the flow score. If Michigan starts to pull away, I'd expect their rebounding numbers to be higher than Appalachian State's.
And right off the inbound, Nolan for 3. That one collected underneath by Aaliyah Gilbert.
Another wide open look from Maddie Nolan. She had a couple of those. One of them was just, the previous one was deep, but some good looks for one of Michigan's sharpshooters. Just hasn't been able to knock them down.
Alexis Black working it down for App State. Finds Janae Sanders over in the left corner. Janae dribbling inside, backing down Nolan. Pivots and gets inside, but the shot won't go. Rebound to Alston. Back out to Alexis Black.
It's a 4th offensive rebound for Appalachian State. 11 minutes into this game. I'm sure that's something that Kim Barnes-Arico would like to clean up.
Leah Gilbert driving on Cam Williams. Outlet pass does not work. That's going to be Alyssa Crockett. Leah Brown working it inside to Emily Kaiser. Out to Filia, open 3, off the back of the rim. Brown finds it underneath, and she's going to be fouled. Going for that offensive board. That's the fight you love to see out of number 32 there.
Yeah, good hustle by Leah Brown there, gaining an extra possession for the Wolverines. Came in flying from the left wing to grab the long rebound off the 3-point. Just using that size to reach the ball at a higher peak than the App State players. And you'd expect Michigan to be dominating the boards, and we'll see if that turns around in the second quarter for them.
Kaiser working in the middle of the lane. Out to Filia. Gets to her spot, pulls up for the jumper, no good. Kaiser tries to collect it, but had a foot out of bounds as she fought for that rebound. It is going to be the Mountaineers basketball.
It looks like Alexis Black is off with an injury for App State. Brooke Biggett will enter the game for her. Big loss for App State there.
Yeah, Black's been, and right away, Biggett coughs it up. That was Leah Brown who jumped in that passing lane, like we've been saying. They've been doing it all day, and fouled on the other end there.
That's the 9th turnover for this Appalachian State team, 11.5 minutes into this game. Michigan obviously happy with their activity in the defensive passing lane, but need to start knocking down some shots if they want to pull away on the scoreboard.
Kaiser working inside. Using the strength, getting to the left hand. Williams underneath with the offensive board. And that ball's going to be stripped by Aaliyah Gilbert. That was excellent defense. Cam Williams jumped in and got that offensive board. Immediately had 2 Mountaineers on her, and Gilbert was able to rip the ball out and pick up the foul on number 44, Williams. Sanders loses it down low. So many quick turnovers. It's the first pass that App State isn't prepared to catch the ball or even make the smart pass. Filia working inside. That's going to be a foul, a reach across the body.
Good take there with the left hand. A little hesitation at the top of the key. Freeze the defender. Power dribble left hand, and just get to your spot and draw the foul on the App State. And see if Layla Filia can get something going here. She's had a couple decent look from the baseline, decent look from 3, and maybe the ball just going through the basket like it did there on the first free throw will allow her to kind of get going a little bit on the offensive end.
You feel like they did make a conscious effort to get her the ball on those first couple possessions as she took a 3 and took that baseline 2. And there, she's sort of asserting herself in this game a little bit more in the second quarter.
Yeah, and she's getting to her spots, right? And so those are the shots that you want her to take, and she's not making them, and that's just part of the game. And you hope that some free throws will allow her to get into the flow of this game a little bit better. As App State struggles with the press for a bit, and now breaks it in half.
Yeah, Michigan breaking out the press there. Aaliyah Gilbert from 3, that's going to be short. Collected by Brown, but stolen by Carver. Missed the shot, and the ball's going to be in the ground. It's going to be a jump ball.
Wow. Scrappy and a lot of hustle and energy and activity just going on in this game right now. And it's led to a lot of turnovers, but a lot of great hustle plays as well. Players diving all over the floor. The mop guys have had to come out quite a few times to wipe some perspiration off the floor.
They're earning their keep today.
Yes, they certainly are.
That was a great play by Carver. Leah Brown did not see her coming, able to strip it, and then after missing the shot, force the jump ball again.
A little Jose Alvarado-esque is another App State turnover on the offensive foul on the inbound play. But going back to Michigan bringing up the press, it's a good idea, right? I mean, you're clearly – your team is playing hard. They're diving on the floor. They're showing effort, a willingness to kind of get gritty and dirty, so to speak, in terms of getting on the floor and that kind of thing. And App State's turnover prone, so why not speed them up even more and try and create even more turnovers? Don't let them get into half court before they create the turnover, and get some easier buckets for yourself on the offensive end.
Offensive set, works it over to Leah Brown, who hits the 3. Some good dribbling by both Felia and a great pass from Nolan to seal the deal.
And Brown's been struggling with the three-point shot, kind of looked up towards the heavens after hitting that one, and it's like, finally, maybe that'll get her going offensively.
And a travel on Emily Carver back to the other end. That is amazing. Is that the 12th turnover? The 12th turnover for Appalachian State here.
Yeah, that is we have 20 turnovers in this game, and we've played 13 minutes. 20 total. It's just quick. App State is sped up in their offensive process right now, and credit to Michigan. And credit to App State for competing on the other end as well, though. You turn it over, that can be a mental kind of block or kind of bring down the morale of the team. When you're not even getting shots up, you're just losing the ball and giving Michigan extra possessions, but they've done a good job of competing and kind of hanging around in this game, staying within striking distance.
That was a foul on Mariah Frazier as the ball got worked into Felia. She's got 2 shots. The Wolverines are in the bonus. Felia hits both. And it's going to be Brooke Biggett taking it up, still with the semi-press, 2 hanging around midcourt, and Felia harassed in the backcourt. They get it across, that's Frazier. Over to Biggett. Picks up the dribble and gets it back out to Shea Harris. Shea Harris, an electric scorer off the bench, although hasn't got much going today. Working to the right, passes it inside, and that one is going to be off the hands of Aaliyah Gilbert. 13th turnover for App State.
App State's had a little bit of success with that pick and roll, with the roll woman getting open in the middle of the lane, but they've just been unable to get the ball into the roller with any success. And, I got to credit Michigan's length and kind of rotations a little bit, but I also just think App State is sped up in their mind more than they're sped up, on the actual court. I think they need to take some deep breaths and really focus on just execution, right? Just the fundamentals, the simple things of what they're trying to accomplish out there. And
I think, I think what you're saying about the length on these pick and rolls, I think the pick and roll is something that maybe it's one of their most effective moves, but they're usually dealing with, way less arms in their face, way less or way more spacing between their defender and themselves. They're normally able to create a little bit more space. So the pass itself is second nature. It's an instinctual thing. Now you say, okay, you have to actually be focused on that pass inside, on that interior pass. That's something that maybe they're not used to having to put all their effort into. And when they do, maybe it's at an odd angle. Maybe they're having to go, under the arm or over.
Right.
and it's coming into the rollers at a different place that they're used to.
Right, and it's just tough to practice that until you're in a game like this, right? You know, there's no equivalent to game reps other than the game and the game reps themselves. So Michigan certainly offered Appalachian State a bit of a challenge here, and they've got to stick together and like I said, fundamentals. And what I'm talking about is like footwork, which they've done a good job of so far in the paint, especially. And then just the fundamentals of passing, like, all right, bounce pass, chest pass, faking a pass to make a pass. That's one of those phrases that coaches use all the time, partly because it kind of flows, right? But it makes sense, right? You can move the branches with your fakes, like the branches that is the forest of Michigan's arms defensively. You're going to be able to create some better lanes for yourself to get some easy buckets. And you know, for App State, right, they're not even getting shots up at this point. They're just turning the ball over, and that's an issue because you can't score if you don't have the ball, obviously, right? And it's leading to easy transition points for Michigan, and they're starting to capitalize a little bit here, Michigan are. And
so let's see what Angel Elderkin, in her 9th season at App State, recipient of the Pat Summit Courage Award from ESPN. She battled endometrial cancer back in 2016. Let's see what she draws up for getting the ball up at the rim instead of out of bounds and in the hands of the Wolverines. Wolverine ball here. Leah Brown's got it on the left wing. Fake. Jab step and to the left. Cross-court pass to Nolan with the fake pass. Tries to hit the corner three, unable to. Rebound to Gilbert. Olson brings it back up. Work to the right. Picks up the dribble. Out to Biggin in the corner, dribbling back to the middle of the floor, back out to the point. Direct in traffic is Alston, back to Biggett, work it inside to Emily Carver, who's working to her right. Pivots back to the left, couple of pivots here, nothing doing. And 3 seconds offensive on Carver there, unable to get the ball out and unable to get herself out of the paint.
Another Appalachian State turnover, better fundamentals there, but just a lot of running and a lot of motion without any purpose. It seemed like on that offensive possession, very few cuts to the basket, a lot of just kind of spacing cuts. And for a team that doesn't shoot well, that's not what you need out of your team.
Filia with the quick three. Once again, Wolverines work it down inside to Emily Kaiser and then back out to Filia for the three-pointer from the left wing. On the other hand, Biggett's got it. Back to Alston, working near the left elbow. And with the dish underneath to Gilbert, shot is no good. Maddie Nolan's got the board. Looking for Layla Filia down there, but it is knocked out of bounds by Emily Carver.
And the open threes are going to be there for Michigan. App State switched back to a little bit of man-to-man here to try and give Michigan a bit of a different look, but they're still compressing the paint because of the size difference. And Michigan's been able to use some backside screens to kind of get some shooters open and started to knock them down a little bit more. And beautiful entry pass there from Leah Brown into Emily Kaiser for the easy lay-in.
That was quite the beautiful pass. Over 2 App State defenders, got her with an open path to the basket. Meanwhile, Gilbert's got it along the baseline, working it back to the middle of the floor. Switches to the left and is going to be fouled, although she was double-teamed by Kyra Evans and Emily Kaiser down low. Aaliyah Gilbert trying to make something happen by attacking the paint.
Yeah, that was certainly an aggressive move and a little bit lucky to get bailed out there with the foul. Michigan had the double team on, looked like hands are straight up in the air, but you know, anything for some points right now for Appalachian State, anything that's not a turnover, it's seemingly a win for them on the offensive possession as first one rims out. It's been a struggle in the second quarter.
Nothing going right. They're shooting just 32%, 14 from 3. And just 2 of 4 from the line now as Gilbert misses the second as well. Leah Brown taking it down the floor. Behind the back, working it inside. Beautiful move and the finish.
It's funny what a little confidence does to your overall game, right? We've seen Leah Brown make that three and then crash the offensive glass, some behind the back moves, get into her right hand and a beautiful finish, and sometimes that's all it takes. Ooh.
And that's going to be Brooke Biggett with the corner 3 on the other end.
That's what they call a splash. That was nothing but net.
A lot of arc on that one.
Back into a 3-2 zone here as well for App State. So,
but Maddie Nolan's trying to take advantage, misses that corner 3, but Felia with the rebound down low. Leah Brown inside, tries to get to Kyra Evans, but there were 2 App State defenders in the way. That's going to be a foul on the Michigan Wolverines. Ball going back down the court. That was Michigan's 9th turnover. However, they were stuck at 8 for about the past 5 minutes, so
yes,
they'll certainly live with that.
Much better stretch. The rebounding numbers have started to trend toward Michigan's direction as well, and they continue these high traps out at the top, which has just given Appalachian State so many problems.
Screen from Janae. Alston taking it inside. Gilbert for the corner 3 and knocks it down. 33-21 Michigan.
It's back-to-back threes for Appalachian State, trying to kind of work their way back into this game, and again in the 3-2 press.
Lissa Crockett crossed the court to Felia. Inside to Nolan, who's strong off the glass, but rebound Kaiser takes it in on a triple team, and she's going to be stripped by Sanders. Sanders taking it ahead, looking for number 11, Faith Alston. Gets it back to Brooke Biggett, and with the travel, they've called her for that more than a couple times here.
Yeah, again, you know, the length, the quickness of the game, it sometimes is it's costing App State, making them move a little bit quicker than they would like to. And
like you said, sped up in their heads.
Right, exactly. There's no need for her to a simple pump fake and you know, legal dribbling action would have been enough to get by the defender there, but just the Michigan's intensity and sort of speed on the defensive end has App State going a million miles an hour as well.
Felia drive it inside. She's going to be fouled, and she will go to the line. It's a little Felia Kaiser action. The top 2 scorers on the Wolverines and 2 of the top 10 in the Big Ten. You got Kaiser averaging nearly 20. She's number 3. And then Felia at 17.5 is number 9 in the conference. Now, they have been scorching hot to start this year.
Yeah, it's been an excellent quarter for Layla Felia as well. She's got to the free throw line, like we talked about. It's kind of opened up the rest of her game. She's made some excellent plays. Obviously, her defense continues. She's making her free throws. Got to see a 3 go down. So she's settled into this game now, and it's time for Janae Sanders for App State to settle into this game as well.
She's 0 for 3 with 3 turnovers, thanks to Felia's excellent defense. Biggett inside, and that one, I believe, was blocked by Alyssa Crockett.
Calling a foul.
Foul?
Crowd disagrees with that one. Yeah, that was
some broadcasters would like to respectfully disagree, but are professionally neutral.
It's a valid take, I believe. That appeared to be a lot of ball from this angle, but refs disagree.
Biggett hits the first.
It's a good take, though. I mean, you know, going strong, little jab step, get to the left hand, and draw some contact. And it's what App State needs to do more of is kind of the simple, like, let's get to our spots and just make some of the easier shots. Right? And I know that's a lot easier said than done, but it seems like they're, you know, playing too quickly, and that's kind of costing them what they're good at.
Nolan with the corner 3, but a whistle before. And that's going to be a push on App State.
Yeah, I guess on the screener maybe. Yeah, it looks like it as Kaiser goes to the free throw line. Man, Nolan's had some open looks today. She just hasn't been able to convert. The fact that App State's kind of within 13 and they're kind of lurking, right? But it seems like Michigan has established themselves as the much better team here in the second quarter, and it started to reflect a bit on the scoreboard, but hasn't fully kind of developed into the domination that many expected leading into this game.
Kaiser hits 2 2 of 2. We were talking about Maddie Nolan earlier. She's a career 41% shooter, 37% from 3. This year she's down to 38 and 33. So they've really been trying to get her going. You see it as they, they set those screens, those back screens to get her open in the corner several times. They want to get her going because, she's a senior. She's an integral part of this offense.
Right.
But it's been tough for her to get going.
And same with Leah Brown. These are two key players, two veteran players on this team that has aspirations of Big Ten title and national championship type aspirations, right? And you need, your veterans to make the shots that they're capable of making.
Mm-hmm.
And Leah's started to make a few today, and we're still waiting on Maddie to kind of get it going.
And quickly, once again, App State, flustered by the press, coughs up the ball, and immediately commits a foul on Jordan Hobbs. Hobbs hits the first one at the line. Second one off, but collected by Shea Harris. This one taken down by Bigot. Brooke working to the left hand. Back outside to Emily Carver. Nice move, but no dice inside. That one is going to be off App State. Looked like she tried to go up, lost the handle, and just watches it slowly rolled out of bounds.
Yeah, Jordan Hobbs made that tough again.
Ari Wiggins coming down the floor, her first action of the game. Nolan being face guarded by Carver. Has to give it the dribble, but inside to Kaiser. Kaiser's got a double team, takes a dribble, gonna try to get it out. She's got Hobbs, but she opts to go across the floor, back inside to Alyssa, and Kaiser inside. Beautiful, beautiful ball movement there. Across the floor to the left wing, inside to the baseline, and then to a cutting Kaiser right down the middle. Bigot out to Gilbert. Gilbert with the offensive foul. And that one was clear as day, even from up here. She extended the arm as she was trying to work to her left, got that right arm out.
And Kaiser was in position, right? Excellent job of moving the feet, staying in front. Easy call for the officials, and it's now the 17th turnover for Appalachian State in this first half.
Wiggins dribbling out some clock at the top of the key, watches it develop. Hobbs on the left wing. Inside to Kaiser, but Gilbert makes a play, gives it up to Alston. Over to Shea Harris, works it into the corner to Carver. Harris back to the top. Guarded by Maddie Nolan is Faith Alston. Shea Harris has got it back on the left wing. Working to her left hand, going in, and finishes with the right inside.
That was well
a little
done.
overzealous defense.
Yeah, a little crease in the Wolverine defense there, and Harris did an excellent job of attacking and then finally finishing, right? And that's what App State's been lacking a little bit of in this first half.
Nolan with the fake, got a Mountaineer flying into the stands. Hobbs for three, off the back iron. Kaiser fighting underneath. It will go to App State, but an excellent effort.
Check it for your Wolverines 32, Leah Brown. And number 5, Layla
Leah Brown and Layla Filia enter the game for this final defensive possession of the first half, and one that's been solid for Michigan. I think the scoreline doesn't indicate maybe how much better they've been, but give some credit to App State for their grit and being able to kind of keep this score somewhat manageable going into the second half.
Yeah, they can force Michigan into some sped up shots of their own. This one as Gilbert works it inside for the two, right at the buzzer, and that'll do it.
That'll give App State a little momentum going into the locker room. A little 4-0 spurt to close the half, and some things for Michigan to think about. Obviously, the turnover battle, they've done an excellent job. It's 17-11, but Michigan would like to have less turnovers than that. But again, the rebounding margins, while they tightened in that second quarter, Michigan has 15 rebounds. Appalachian State has 16 rebounds. Michigan should be dominating that category given their size. So credit to App State and their hustle, but Michigan needs to do a better job of, crashing the glass both on the offensive both offensively and, making sure they're boxing out defensively. And then I think that will allow them to kind of create a larger separation on the scoreboard, and because they've done an excellent job of matching App State's energy, right? We knew App State was going to come in and play with some energy, given 3 and 6, and this is a big opportunity for them to kind of make a name for themselves. And so far they've done a pretty good job of matching that energy that App State's had, and we'll see if they can continue it in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw a lot of contributors for Michigan in that first half. Ari Wiggins coming in, Kyra Evans coming in, Lee Stuck playing some solid minutes. So obviously you had some lesser-known names on the floor for the Wolverines. KBA recognizing that this is a good opportunity to get to learn against a team that, they're gonna show these tendencies with the pick and roll, with the attack in the basket. They do have some talented players, but they're maybe not going to punish you for every mistake. It's a good learning opportunity.
Right, and App State's had some trouble shooting the ball. Obviously, we talked about that in the opening as well as kind of their struggle points, but they got it to 2 of 8 from 3, which is 1 less than Michigan. It's 3 of 10, so not great shooting from deep. But you can see the disparity at the free throw line. App State 3 of 6, Michigan 11 of 12. So done an excellent job of taking the points that Appalachian State is giving them. I mean, the way back into this game for App State is to stop turning the ball over, and it's a lot easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's just a lot of commentary in general, but App State has cost themselves so many chances to try to get back into the game and keep Michigan on their toes, right? Anytime it's a 10-point game at home for Michigan against a team like App State who they're expecting to beat, that gets them worried. Plays them, makes them play a little tense, and Michigan's turning it over themselves. They have 11 turnovers. We talked about kind of the sloppiness of the game, and I think a lot of that's just due to the energy of both teams. But if App State can maintain that defensive intensity and energy, they've been able to get Michigan, out of kind of shape, out of form, make some turnovers, and that'll give them some chances to take advantage on the fast break and get back into this game.
Yeah, although it is going to be a lot tougher considering Janae Sanders, we already mentioned she's got no points. She's got the 3 turnovers, but she's also got 3 personal fouls now.
Yeah.
So if she's in foul trouble and just hasn't been able to get anything going at all. Right now the offense has been running through Aaliyah Gilbert, who, as we mentioned, has just stepped into the starting lineup 2 games ago. Obviously it's looking like a great move for these Mountaineers to get her some touches. But Shea Harris maybe needs to be a little more played. She's only got 5 minutes off the bench, and she had a couple of 20-point games earlier this year. She's someone who can put up points in a hurry. So Michigan's got to be keeping an eye on her in the second half. Other than that, all around, this App State's been struggling, 25% from 3, 40% from the floor, exactly on their season averages. But it's not going to cut it when Michigan's shooting 48% and 30%, and you're giving up half your possessions on the turnovers.
Right. Yeah, and, Michigan really should have kind of had this game in more control than they have right now. This lead should be bigger than 15, given how Appalachian State has had 17 turnovers. Michigan's had a lot of good looks from 3. Maddie Nolan's 0 of 5 from 3, 2 of 8 from the floor. You'd expect that to change a little bit in the second half, but we talked about some of the missed bunnies earlier in the game that Michigan had at the layup line. They didn't play with the same pace in that second quarter, and I thought they played with a little bit more execution. It was still pacey, but with an understanding of what's going on instead of just playing fast to play fast, right? And I think that allowed them to kind of get into their stuff better, get more open threes, get better looks at some shots, and let the team kind of settle into this game, because it's pretty clear that the pace that they were playing at earlier and the pace they continue to play at, especially defensively, is causing App State a lot of problems. So there's no need to, make your own problems by playing too quickly on the offensive end, and they did a much better job of that in the second half.
Do you think we see more of the press in the second half?
I would. I mean, if I'm App State, I'm preparing for that press right now. But if I'm Michigan, I'm bringing it out until they prove that they can do something about it, because App State is, again, we keep, just keep banging this drum, but like 17 turnovers is an insane amount of turnovers for one
And a couple
half.
of those were post breaking the press. Some of them were, we got in the passing lane. Some of them were, they've broken the press, they've got the ball down the floor, and then immediately, once they think, okay, everything's settling down, they make just, a lazy pass. They telegraph the pass, and Michigan jumps in that lane. Or we saw some frustration coming out the end with some offensive fouls.
Exactly. And, there's a way in which we can see App State, get distracted here by these guys throwing down mean dunks off the trampolines. But, right, we've seen App State turn it over in both fashions, right, as you mentioned, because of the press and just in the half-court offense, right? So I think Michigan should feel like they can do whatever they want to do. But to me, the press speeds up App State even more, and it gives Michigan some easy layups going the other way, which they weren't able to take advantage of in the first half. But I think you'd like your chances on those, right, going forward, like some regression to the mean, whether that's, Michigan's underperforming on those layups right now. So in theory, they'd make some in the second half, and I think that'll be the strategy for Coach Rico at halftime, is say, hey, let's put them to bed in this third quarter. Don't give them a shot going into that fourth quarter, and they've played with enough energy to accomplish that. And sometimes I keep talking about energy because sometimes teams at home, not playing for 9 days, playing a team that's 3-6, it can be easy to let off the gas a little bit. And Michigan's done an excellent job of matching the energy that App State's brought, and they need to continue to do so, right? And
but with all respects, App State came out knowing what they needed to do to win. They were shooting early. They were shooting the three early. And, like you said, just attacking defensively. So, we'll see what they can do in the second half.
Yeah, if they continue to push the pace, and, I think that plays well for Michigan, but I'd like to see App State get some easy layups as well. So,
all right, we're gonna.
Hello, you are listening to WCBN Sports Radio. Adam Bressler joined by Ryan Dolson in this one. We got a great second half coming your way. For those just tuning in, Michigan's women's basketball team is leading 40-26 against Appalachian State at halftime. Just wrapped up a wonderful, wonderful halftime show from the Detroit Pistons Extreme team. I always love that.
That was magical.
Yeah. You're a Pistons fan, so they might mean more to you. But where I'm from in D.C., they have a G-Man and the Secret Service dunkers, but they're very similar.
I got to meet the back when I was younger, they were called the
Back
Flight
in
Crew.
my day.
Yeah, back in my day, they were called the Flight Crew, and I got to meet them backstage during a game at halftime. That was one of the highlights of my young life.
Oh yeah, it's always so much fun, and they do the most acrobatic things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But we're not here to talk about the Pistons Extreme team, much to my dismay. It's been a very electric first half for the Wolverines. Appalachian State was keeping it somewhat close. They were staying in there for the first quarter, and for the start of the second quarter, it seemed that both teams were a little cold, but Michigan just absolutely exploded. It is a 15-point game here for the Wolverines, up 40-25. There was a very long period where it seemed like Appalachian State just could not buy a shot no matter what they did.
Yeah, I think it went on for close to 6 minutes of game time where they could not make a shot from the court. They made a couple of free throws, but really allowed Michigan to run away with it. And they fixed it up towards the end of the half. But
For sure.
Really struggled at first.
Seemed that they just showed on the big screen, I believe it was like a 16-point run for the Wolverines there going into the second quarter. And, I mean, the Appalachian State really has just not been able to respond. They were able to kind of stop the bleeding a little bit, make a couple choice threes there in the second quarter. But really just defensively, you see on almost every single one of Appalachian State's offensive possessions, you know, they're holding on to the ball with only just a few seconds left in that shot clock. That Michigan women's defense has been absolutely suffocating to them all game, really.
Suffocating's a good word for that, too. Michigan currently in the locker room. We have 5 minutes and some change remaining at the halftime intermission. Today's game is on BTN Plus, so we've been very fortunate. No extended media breaks.
Definitely not. Love to see it, honestly.
Yeah. I believe the men's game is on national television, so
yeah.
We got 3 of the 4 broadcasters here today staying for the men's game doubleheader. Doing one substitution, but it should be a good one.
I will be there for it.
Yeah, same with me and same with Daniel. We're subs out.
So
Alex Miller is going to come in and replace Coley.
I can't wait. That's going to be exciting. So don't touch that.
Don't touch that mouse.
Mouse? Sure.
That.
Stay here on WCBN on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. Incredible doubleheader of basketball as the men's team will be taking on Lipscomb later today at 4.
And speaking of a programming update, we'll take some time at this intermission to just plug some upcoming broadcasts we got.
You don't want to miss any of these, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you.
3 games coming up. All 3 of these highlighted are going to be on both 88.3 FM Ann Arbor and YouTube. So tune in on YouTube if you're outside of Southeast Michigan. But if you live anywhere from suburban Detroit to suburban Lansing, get out your radios, either in the car or at home, and go to 88.3 and tune in all the way for these 3 upcoming broadcasts. On Tuesday, December 20th, I'll be down in Charlotte, North Carolina. Michigan's women's basketball team is taking on the number 7 team in the nation, UNC Tar Heels.
Ooh.
It's technically a neutral site, but it's in Charlotte.
Really.
Charlotte, only about 90 minutes away from Chapel Hill.
It's like Georgia getting to play their neutral bowl game
exactly
in Atlanta
yeah.
on the 31st.
It's like if Michigan got to play in Detroit. I guess technically that's neutral, but not by any realistic measure.
Yeah, very much so.
And that's part of the Jumpman Invitational. Very fun, actually. It's the 4 schools that were the first to sign on with the Jumpman sponsorship alongside
I did not actually know that.
So it's UNC, Michigan, they were the first 2,
Uh-huh.
and then Florida and Oklahoma
Ooh.
are also playing. So
That's fun. That's
both
exciting.
the men's and women's teams of both of those programs. Women play first on Tuesday night. Men play on Wednesday night. Both games start at 7. Both games in Charlotte where the Bobcats play. And both games will be on 88.3 in addition to YouTube. And then finally plugging probably the biggest game of the year, Michigan playing against TCU. I was doing some research. I'll be on this call as well down in Glendale. And I was starting to do some research. Blew my mind. This is the first time these 2 programs have ever faced off.
Ever?
I know, Michigan,
Wow.
It's a 130-year program, and we've never played Texas Christian before. They are
sure
one
to be
of,
electric.
you're absolutely right. 1 of 5 teams in the Power 5 Michigan has never played.
Really?
Which blows my mind.
That's fascinating.
But will be a great game on 88.3 starting at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's in Mountain Time. So 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Eastern.
That's
WCBN has a lot of fun stuff planned.
Oh, yeah.
Going to be a real great game.
You're covering that North Carolina. You're covering those games in North Carolina, in Arizona.
Yeah.
Wow. I was going to say you're going all over the country, but that's not entirely 100% true. You're going all around the world. You were just in England.
Just in England.
For the Michigan-Kentucky game last week.
I
week
guess
and a half.
2 weeks ago
Yeah.
now at this point. It was 2 weeks from tomorrow. A lot
That's
of fun
crazy.
to go
Oh,
with
yeah.
Charlie Brigham. I just wish the men's team would have taken care of business.
They came close.
And
They
they
did come
did.
close. It was an exciting
It was
one.
a lot of fun. Well, we're going to go and return to the game at hand. We got 2 minutes left, a bit under, until these 2 teams face off. Michigan leading by a hefty margin. And as you mentioned in the lead-up, it's been on the back of Filia. She has 11 points. Emily Kaiser with 12. Just an absolute incredible season from Kaiser this season. Got some notes here. She's third in the Big Ten in points per game, 19.4 on average. You know who she's behind? Caitlin Clark and Mackenzie Holmes. Those are two of the best shooters in the nation. And that's in the company that Emily Kaiser's with. She's a little bit behind Caitlin Clark, averaging 27.7 points per game. But Mackenzie Holmes is right there with her. Theoretically, Kaiser could maybe surpass her average today if she has a hot second half. Mackenzie Holmes averaging 20.6. Emily Kaiser 19.4. So at this point, looking really great. If she's able to keep this up, she'll be first team all Big Ten.
Oh, yeah.
As we prepare, you could maybe hear the Pump It Up song in the background.
I love the lighting that they're doing.
Play. They got some fun stuff. We'll be back right now, and Michigan tried to hang on to their lead and bounce back from the real devastating loss last Thursday against the reigning MAC champions, Toledo.
The Toledo Rockets, that one was an absolute heartbreaker. This women's squad, their very first loss of the year, dropped them down to number 19 in the rankings as Michigan will inbound the ball. Number 32 for the Wolverines, Leah Brown taking that pass.
Yeah, so Michigan is playing defensively coming out of halftime as they begin.
Wise decision.
We got Michigan passes inbound, shot is up, and that one's good from Brown.
Beautiful little roll in right there.
Kaiser makes the shot. It's now 42-25. Michigan wasting no time coming out of the intermission.
As I've been saying, this Michigan defensive squad has just been so suffocating for this Appalachian State team. They just can't get any open looks, any open players in.
We got a pass inbound to Gilbert. And it's broken up. We'll go out of bounds. Looks like it's going to stick with App State.
Only 6 seconds left on that shot clock.
Tipping off Maddie Nolan's hand. 6 seconds, not a ton of time to work with. Inbound from Olson. Brings it out back. And we got to travel.
Seemed a little lost there for a moment. Not quite sure if she wasn't aware of how much time. She was taking her time there for a moment. With only 5 seconds left on the clock. Not 100% sure what that decision was. But regardless, the ball will be turned over to the Wolverines.
And didn't even get a shot off as Brown takes the inbound pass, passes over to Nolan out beyond the arc, distributes to Filia. Looks inbound, shot is up, and that one's good as well. Kaiser.
Beautiful. Kaiser was able to shake off her man there. Apologies, stepping on your toes.
I talked about how Kaiser's top in the Big Ten, adding to her averages with that one. 2 straight baskets for her. We got a shot up from App State, no good. Rebounded quickly by Williams. She's kind of filled that void left by Naz Hillman, rebounding in the paint. Michigan brings it on the outside, passes in Brown to Kaiser. Trying to get some space, puts it up. That one won't land. Kind of a heat check there after making 2 straight baskets in contested paint. Rebounded by App State. Trying to get a tempo. We got a shot up by Sanders, and that was going to be blocked, and that one had no chance for the basket. Williams, I think, will be credited with it, but some help from Filia, too.
Sure, that was a double team right there. She had no real good look at it, thought she could fire it up.
Finds Brown with a Euro step. They're going to say she's fouled. Think that'll send her to the line.
Certainly seems like it.
First of the second half for either team. First of App State. They're going to say that's going to be on Carver as Brown goes to the line.
That is Carver's first foul.
Shot is up, and it's good. Michigan now leads 45-26 with 8 minutes and some change here. Second shot ups. Another swish.
Those swishes were crisp.
Very crisp. We
all mic'd up.
Love getting the mics from the backboard. As we get full court press being played by Michigan. Really interesting choice, up by so much, but it worked. Michigan got a tip, but App State's going to hang on to it.
Very interesting decision here. Don't know how necessary it is, but we'll see how it works out.
Frazier puts up a contested jumper. No good off the front iron. Williams gets a rebound. Passes back to Brown. Brown trying to get some space. Shot is up, and that one's good. Cameron Williams will get that basket. Michigan is leading so far, not giving up any points yet this half, as they've gotten 8 of their own, 6 from the field and 2 from the line.
Really starting to run away with this game here against the Appalachian State Mountaineers.
App State trying to make something happen. Olson puts one up, and that one lands.
Very fancy footwork there from the Mountaineers. Managed to spin around her defender for the easy layup.
It's going to be 27-48.
As we said, first points for Appalachian State in this half.
We have Kaiser trying to move the offense, passes out to Brown, off the front rim, and it bounces in. Michigan has broken the 50-point threshold as App State is trying to rush down, puts up a shot, no good. Rebounded by Frazier, sends it on out for 3, no good. And this time it's rebounded by Filia. Just can't make their shots today for App State. They're shooting.
Especially those three-pointers have just been rough.
20% from 3 and only 36% from the field. We got a whistle blown. This time's going to be on App State, another foul.
They had some great looks there, the Mountaineers. You know, they had that open pass down the court, caught Michigan off guard, but Mountaineer unable to get that layup before the defenders come back. Couple open looks, and that was a missed three-pointer. Pass inbound from the Wolverines. Can't quite get a handle on it. Number 33, Emily Kaiser, as the ball rolls out of bounds. Mountaineer ball.
That's what you hate to see. And Michigan is really struggling with turnovers this game. They already have 13. Which, granted, App State might not be the toughest opponent, but when Big Ten play starts and they're playing Northwestern, Maryland, Ohio State, Iowa, you can't be doing that.
For sure.
App State puts up a shot, clean block by Williams, gets the rebound, however, puts it on up, no good, and another rebound by Williams.
Shot popped in and out for the Mountaineers there.
Williams only with 10 minutes, but making her presence known, especially on defense. Inbound pass to Kaiser, puts up some more points. She's now at 18 on the day, close to her season average of 19.2. As I mentioned earlier, top of the Big Ten, top 3 behind Caitlin Clark. And we got a whistle blown. I think it's going to be a foul on Michigan.
Sure looks like it.
Cameron Williams will get the nod for that one. First foul committed by Michigan this half.
Third foul for Williams. She is going to come out of the game, as well as Maddie Nolan. Substitutions being made for this Wolverine squad. Williams
only had a couple minutes here, but made her presence known, especially on defense. We got an offensive foul, and that's going to flip it over. App State's really struggling with these turnovers. They have 20 already this game.
Absolutely.
It's really keeping them out of this. Granted, Michigan might be a better shooting team, and it might be on the road, but no chance to win with 20 turnovers.
Absolutely not.
Taking their time bringing it up. Camp Schroeder has it. Finds Kaiser. Kaiser tries to distribute. Tipped. Goes out of bounds. They're going to say it's off App State. I believe Sanders touched it last.
Going to stay here with the Wolverines. 11 seconds left on that shot clock.
Yeah, you still got a lot of time to work with
yeah,
it. Michigan's a quick team. Trying to bring it into the paint. And once again, tipped out of bounds, and that'll take 2 more seconds off.
Yeah.
Going to stay with Michigan. KBA can't be too happy with the last 2 inbounds.
I would tend to agree. But still, Wolverine ball, chance to make something happen here.
Inbound, put it up, and that one's going to count. And one. Leah Brown with the and one. We'll get a chance to add on to that.
Oh, yeah.
13 points this half, or game. Looking to get her 14th here.
She's having
13 points and 6 assists.
Wow.
We got a little bit of confusion at the scorers table.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're looking at, maybe who to assess a penalty on, or whether it is in fact a penalty.
Not quite sure if they made any changes there, but sometimes you just need to look around. Need to make sure things are all right. Number 24 in Appalachian State having a word with the ref there.
Another substitution.
There we go. Here is the shot. The and one opportunity. Not going to go in. Mountaineers with that rebound driving down the court.
I guess that's what you say, ball don't lie. As we got Sanders bringing it down the court for the Mountaineers. Passes on out by the key. Distributes to the other side. Black has it now. Passes over to Harris, who gets it back to Black. Driving towards the basket. 13 seconds. Foul. No good, but I think it will be a shooting foul. So we have 5 minutes exactly halfway through this third quarter.
Appalachian State 50% on their free throws today. 3 for 6. Timeout called on the floor. Media timeout.
It's going to be Wolverines' first timeout of the game.
I believe it says on the screen.
Oh, was it a media timeout?
Yeah, I do believe it's actually
okay.
media timeout.
So Wolverines will hang on to all 4 of theirs, as App State already used 2 of theirs in the first half.
Indeed. 5 minutes left here in this third quarter. Very much like the second quarter. Wolverines very much pulling away from this one. Definitely like what I'm seeing in this half defensively. Some really great shot selection, some great points. A lot of hustle still going, especially in several instances of full court press still happening from the Wolverines despite a nearly 20-point lead here.
Just look at these trends. Michigan, they're 4 of their last 4 from the field. 6-0 run over the last minute 53. Compare that to the Mountaineers. 0 of their last 4 from the field. And they have a 2-minute, 14-second scoring drought. It's just a story of 2 different ball teams.
For sure. Definitely can't be having that if you're hoping to still stay in this one.
Yeah.
Oh! With no time left, they're having a 3-point competition on the floor. And the competitor made one last 3 at the buzzer.
And we had a pretty decent fan turnout. I know a lot of students are home. Only 1 more day of exams left. A lot of professors don't even give exams on Monday. Seems kind of mean, if you ask me.
Certainly.
But
I'm all done with the semester. Looking forward to relax.
We got a couple of fans in the student section, not too many, but a lot of families and community members came on out today. First 500 fans got a Michigan-colored Santa hat. Very festive. 'Tis the season.
I didn't get one. I was too late. Missed my opportunity.
Yeah. They went quick, and you see a lot of fans have them, too. They
Surely a
look great.
giveaway that will haunt my every waking moment.
Yeah. You might be able to grab one if you keep your eye out after this game, see if anyone leaves them.
For sure, for sure.
Speaking of after this game, today is a doubleheader. Michigan will be playing Lipscomb.
The men's team.
The men's team, exactly. So we got the women's at noon, men's team at 4, so tune in later. So we now switch back to the game. Timeout ends. First shot is up from Black. That one is good. It's going to be 28-54. Second shot coming up. Michigan getting loud. It's up, and that's good. Both shots made by Black, and Wolverines will take it down the court and try and get some points of their own to counter that.
Under 5 minutes remaining here in this third quarter.
We got Stuck, comes in for the first time. Errant pass, that's going to go out of bounds off of Filia's hands, and that'll give it over to the Mountaineers.
Taking it up the court.
Michigan, they might be winning big, but their turnover game has not been good.
No.
So I mentioned earlier, they now have 13 turnovers. It's just a real shame because that's not going to be able to cut it when Michigan's playing tougher opponents in the Big Ten.
For sure. You really want to start fixing up, cleaning up those mistakes. Locking out, almost turned over again. Appalachian State player got a hand on the ball, but Wolverines maintain control.
Brown has it. Passes inbound to Williams, puts a shot up, no good. Gets a rebound, and that one's good. Williams puts some points up now. Quickly checking in, and those will be her 4th point to the game, 3rd and 4th point right there.
Very well scouted and a great rebound and put back from her.
App State trying to get points of their own, driving straight towards the basket, number 0, Black. Does not go in. That's going to be a foul, however, on Leah Brown. Maddie Nolan checks back in, giving a quick break for Leah Brown. Black is back to the line, just finished a trip just a moment ago, made both of them. Taking a dribble, shots up, lands it. It is now 30-56. Second shot coming your way. Takes a single dribble, puts it up, off the front iron, hits everywhere and goes in. Gonna be 31-56 as Michigan takes it down the court. Camp Schroeder passes over to Filia. In the corner, we got Struck.
Oh, wide
Shot
open
up
for
for
three.
Camp Schroeder, wide open, no good, off the front rim. Rebounded by App State. Bring it down the court is Harris. Harris looking towards the basket, passes, shot is up, no good, off the front rim. Rebounded by Williams. Williams now has 8 rebounds on the day.
Got to be making those layups. Errant pass there from the Wolverines. Ball sailing out of bounds. I thought a Mountaineer got their hand on it, but seemingly not, as it will be Appalachian State ball.
14th turnover now. Playing with some urgency from the Mountaineers. Great ball movement. Tries to find a lane. Gets a deep jumper off the front rim. No good.
Not quite. Rebounded by the Wolverines.
Camp Schroeder getting her presence known. Her size in the paint. Try to bring it down the court. Some tight defense. Shot open from the corner from Filia. In and out 3. No good. Rebounded by Sanders. Trying to get a fast break. But Wolverines bring it down the court quickly. Passes out to the key for 3. No good, and a quick rebound from Olson.
Threes just not coming easy for this Appalachian State team. Doesn't
Nope.
feel like threes are coming too easily for either team, realistically today.
Shooting 18% from beyond the arc. 5 seconds left on the shot clock for App State. Puts it up. It's good and 1.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Michigan only shooting 25%, 3 for 12 from the three-point line.
That will be the first field goal made in the last 4 minutes and 27 seconds by Appalachian State.
With an opportunity for the and one.
Foul is on Camp Schroeder. Already has 3 fouls. Gotta keep an eye on that.
Definitely.
Some substitutions. We get Kaiser checking back in, and Crockett. Shot is up off the front rim, no good. Michigan gets a rebound. Fast break, passes over to Camp Schroeder. The corner finds Filia. Brings it around the court, back to Camp Schroeder at the key, directing the offense. Crockett's open, passes inbound to Kaiser. Shot is up, in and out. Kaiser looking to add to her incredible game, 18 points so far. Unable to land it there as App State gets a rebound. Fast break, goes, shot up, no good. Goes out of bounds. They're saying it's tipped off Filia, who had a block attempt. Guess the block was successful. It didn't go in, but forced the ball to scramble out of bounds. 23 seconds left on the shot clock. Did not take much time off the clock there.
Certainly not.
Inbound
Ball's
pass.
staying with the Appalachian.
Shot is up, no good, but another foul. Wolverines really struggling with the fouls this quarter. 2 minutes, 8 seconds remaining, and App State's already in the bonus.
Yeah, very not ideal. Feels like Appalachian State's trying to get a little physical, hope they can grab some points to hopefully make it something of a competitive fourth quarter here late. Try not to fall out of the game already, causing the Wolverines to get a little aggressive and physical, I think, as a result.
For those just tuning in, Michigan's leading 56-33 with 2 minutes left in the third. But they've been struggling as of late, trying to stop the skid as App State goes to the line. Shot is up. Swoosh.
Appalachian State starting to get those free throws down a bit more than I think they were at the start of the game.
Sanders makes the first one. Second one coming her way. It's up. Also swoosh.
Much more consistent.
Lead dwindles to only 21 points. Only 21 points is still quite a bit. As Michigan playing with some urgency. No more full court press from App State. I think they noticed that Michigan was just too easily cutting through it. Passes over to Nolan. Nolan to Kaiser. Finds the corner for Nolan. Had a wide open shot. They're saying she stepped out of bounds, and that'll be another turnover. 15 turnovers this game.
You really got to lock those down. I understand it's Appalachian State. You know, you don't need to be the sharpest, but still.
We got a kick ball. I think they're going to claim it was Crockett who kicked it for the Wolverines. Mountaineers will hang on to it. You're totally right. And the turnovers are what lost the game last week. against Toledo. Rockets, the reigning MAC champions, came into Crisler and had an upset. Michigan was ranked 14th, and we got a charge. I think that's going to be
number 11, I believe it was, on the Wolverines.
Camp Schroeder.
Indeed.
Let's see what the call is.
Or perhaps not. No, yes, that's actually going to be number 11 on Appalachian State.
Yeah, they're going to say an offensive charge. So not on Camp Schroeder, who's 11 for the Wolverines, but 11 Olson, who is on the Mountaineers, and that'll give the ball back to the Wolverines with 1:37 remaining. Trying to get out of this funk that Michigan's been in recently. 0 points in the last 2.5 minutes, and we get another whistle blown.
Nearly turned over yet again for the Wolverines. Not sure what the call is going to be here.
And they're going to say it is a turnover and then a foul on Camp Schroeder.
I mean, you know, you'd really hope after that loss against Toledo, so many turnovers happening in that one, you'd really hope that the Wolverines have been working on it over and over again, and they'd come out here, show that that was just a one-time thing, not a symptom of this team, but
Crockett and
very unfortunate.
Crockett and Camp Schroeder check on out.
Camp Schroeder having her 4th foul on the day, I believe.
App State trying to continue their run, their 6-0 run in the last 2.5 minutes. Got the ball out by the key, trying to make something happen. Shot is up, contested jumper, no good. Rebounded by Evans. Evans only in a couple minutes so far this game. And another turnover by the Wolverines. It scrambles, and App State picks it up. Loose ball. Now Michigan hangs on to it, goes out of bounds. They're going to say it's going off App State, so Michigan will hang on to it. Another terrible, terrible possession from the Wolverines.
For sure. Definitely don't know what's happening here. I guess with the 20-point lead, you're maybe not playing as mentally tough as you usually do. You figure you're allowed to make some mistakes, but just really sloppy play there, I have to say.
Inbound pass, finds Brown, takes a couple dribbles, puts it up, in and out, and it's good.
Bit of a cold streak there for the Wolverines comes to an end.
App State moving quickly, no good. Rebounded by Nolan, and she's going to slow it down as we got some full court press played by Harris on App State.
About 30 seconds here remaining in this third quarter.
10-second differential between game and shot clock. Passes over to Kaiser, 18 points on the day. Out to the key for Brown. Trying to milk down every second. 4 on the shot clock. Takes a deep 2, no good off the front iron. Michigan gets it, and they will have the last possession if they want it. Passes inbound to Kaiser at a wide open look, but she didn't take it. Finally gets it out by a miracle pass, no good, and that'll be the end of the half.
She got double teamed there a little bit by Appalachian State. Couldn't seem to find anybody open, couldn't get a look at the basket. Made a quick pass, tried to take the shot, but nothing going there.
And 10 minutes left to play. Michigan leads by 23, 58-35. However, the turnovers are looking pretty bad for the Wolverines.
Really not an ideal number. You know, it's hard to complain a little bit too much when they're up, playing so excellently well. But, you know, you see the little creaks, you see the little things that are going to be problems for them later in the game that you really wish that they could have fixed by now.
We appreciate everyone spending their Saturday afternoon tuning in. Big day for sports. We got 3 NFL games, including Buffalo playing in the snow.
I saw
2
that.
Michigan basketball games. And then tomorrow, of course, is a World Cup final.
Oh, yeah. Third place game happened today. I believe Croatia beat Morocco.
Is that so? Oh,
I believe that was the final score of 2-1.
I'm not much of a soccer guy, but that's huge for the Croatia fans.
I've started to be – I watched probably more of the World Cup this year than I have in the last several rounds.
Yeah. So entering this fourth quarter, Michigan leads 58-35. Thanks to Kaiser with 18 points, close to matching her season average. of 19.4. As I said earlier, trailing only Caitlin Clark and Mackenzie Holmes in the Big Ten in points per game.
She has a very great opportunity here to match or presumably pass that average.
It's not just Kaiser either. Michigan has 3 players in the top 20 in Big Ten scoring. We got Kaiser, of course, at 3rd. Filia, 17.3 points per game. She's 9th in the Big Ten. So far this game, she's having a great day as well. And then finally, rounding out the top 20, we got at 19th in the Big Ten, Leah Brown, 13.7. She's having a game too. She has 15 points.
Yeah,
so
15
she surpassed
points.
that. Michigan, they are built to play in March. They just keep dominating.
For sure.
We transition over to the 4th quarter here.
Men's team especially being built for March in the last couple of years, and the women's team making a great run in the tournament last year.
The biggest run in program history, going to the Elite 8. And it was a real shame to see Michigan knocked out when they did. But a chance to maybe get some vengeance this season.
Appalachian State passes it in to start the 4th quarter.
Taking their timeout by the key. Looking for an open player, and Michigan gets a turnover. Brings it down the court as Nolan distributes. And that's an errant pass, another turnover.
No, I do believe they are going to stay. This one's staying here with the Wolverines.
Oh, they're saying tipped off.
Yes.
App State, I think that was number 1 Frazier who got fingertip on it. It's on the other side of the court from the press box. A little bit tough to see that. Inbound pass and a quick shot up, and it's good by Maddie Nolan.
Very beautifully done there.
Not a ton of points today, only 6 so far, but that was quite beautiful.
Definitely.
Textbook,
love to see it.
just catch, dribble, and shoot, layup, and Michigan extends their lead to 25 rather. Just as I said, that App State gets 2 points of their own.
Jordan there trying a little bit for a Best Actress nomination on that flop. Referees do not buy it.
No, they do not. Michigan has the ball back. Deep for 3 from Nolan, no good. Nolan's ice cold from 3, 0 for 6 from beyond the arc today. Normally that's one of her best facets. She's shooting 3 for 10 overall.
Both teams pretty cold from the 3-point line today, I have to say. Not easy pickings for either team.
App State hucks up a prayer. That was from Sanders, no good, and rebounded by Kaiser. Passes it now. Quick layup for Crockett. That is up and good. Evans, pardon me. And that'll give Michigan 62 points.
On the day.
Another flop right there from App State, no call. Passes it out. Deep 3 from Gilbert. And we get a fast break from the Wolverines. Evans gets another layup there.
Can't help but notice a bit of a lack of hustle coming from these Appalachian State players compared to the last quarter, really.
Yeah, I think the momentum's turned, and it's real tough, especially on the road when you're completely and totally outmatched.
For sure.
We got steps out of bounds, number 24, Sanders. That'll give the ball back to Michigan. And that makes sense. App State calls a timeout. They have 1 timeout left. As if this game isn't already in doubt, just the way they've been playing has not looked good.
No, definitely not. As you just said a second ago, you know, it's very hard when you're completely outmatched on the road like that. Hard to keep your head completely focused in the game at 100%, especially when your opponent, the Wolverines, maybe not playing their 100% A-plus game, but having it not really matter. They're still up by nearly 30 at this rate. As the marching band turns on a classic rendition of I Just Can't Turn You Loose, made famous by the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, and we got, today it's a little bit of a special band playing. It's the alumni band. It's not the students, so I hope if you look over, you can tell these are not students performing. We got some people in their 60s.
I guess
playing.
I didn't really pay attention to.
Would have to be quite some old-timer students.
Yeah,
but
it's like that.
It makes sense. I imagine a lot of students are at home.
I think I read just the other day that some football player on Oregon is going to get like his 8th year of eligibility.
That's what I saw too. That's insane.
Just crazy. I can't imagine. But said, under 8 minutes to go here. As I was saying, Wolverines maybe not playing their 100% top of the line A+ game. Plenty of turnovers and weak shooting from the three-point arc, but doesn't really matter. As I've said, Appalachian State just hopelessly outclassed, outmatched here, especially. Remember to tune in at 4 o'clock today. A little bit after this game, the Michigan Wolverine men will be playing Lipscomb. I don't actually know.
From Nashville, is
Yes.
that right?
I was about to say I don't actually know Lipscomb's team name.
I should know this. I was doing some research. I think the Bison.
I'll take your
I believe
word
so.
for it.
Their logo has a big bison on it. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming at 4 p.m. We'll just be spending some time here in Crisler.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of time. I got here at 11, and I'll probably be here till 6.
For sure.
I'm done with exams, done with classes. No place I'd rather be as Michigan prepares to inbound it and
Absolutely.
return play. Inbound right there. Finds Brown, brings it up the court, passes to Nolan. Taking her time out by the key, it's Hobbs. Hobbs at some point, wide open, takes a deep three, in and out, no good. Almost rebounded by Evans.
But not quite. Shot hits the rim there. Wolverines moved to 21% from 3 on the day compared to Appalachian State's 17. Teams are combined 5 for 26 on three-pointers on the day.
Kaiser Claxon out for Crockett. This is probably the second team coming in.
5 for 27.
Shot is up, and that one goes in for App State. It's from Harris, her 4th point of the game.
Appalachian State fired off a 3 there. Did not go in, but they had the rebound and the layup. Ball goes out of bounds there, but it will stay here with the Wolverines on their side of the court.
Good for an
Passing
open
it in.
player. Passes it inbound. Evans in the paint. Really tight defense. App State distributes it out. Finds Nolan. Nolan looks for a 3, decides to hang on to it. Passes it now. Very tight defense. 12 on the shot clock. Out to Nolan. Back out for 3. No shot taken. 3 seconds left. This one's a prayer, and that's no good, but I think it's a foul. That was just a whole lot of everything on that drive.
Passes on top of passes on top of passes. No Wolverine able to get a good look at the ball there. Appalachian State just swarming.
It's going to end with Brown taking 3 free throws. It's Leah Brown.
Those Appalachian State players, second the ball left a player's hands, they would go swarm wherever it went.
First shot's up, no good. Leah Brown, 15 points and 8 assists. Shot is up. Second one's no good either. Hate to see that.
It's all right.
She's
Happens to the
4
best
for
of
7
us.
so far from the line. Finally goes in, bounces on every part of the rim, but makes it 16 points. We got Cam Schrader coming on in.
As Brown comes out, 16 points on the day for her. Appalachian State with the ball.
6:50 remaining in this one. App State trying to get some points. Wide open 3 from Gilbert. Goes up and it hits.
Feels like that could be the very first three-pointer made of the half.
I think
I
that
don't
might
have the
be.
I don't have the exact number, but it definitely feels like it's been a while.
It's only the 3rd 3 of the game for App State. As Michigan responds, Camp Schroeder gets a 3 of her own.
There we go.
Seems like every step App State takes, Michigan takes 2 more forward.
Exactly.
Trying to distribute, find some space up by the key. Michigan comes in as they hang on to it. 14 seconds left, and we got a game of keep away. Harris driving towards the basket. Shot is up, no good. Rebounded by Evans. Michigan going to bring it down the court quickly, but then pulls on up. Looking for a wide open shot. Decides to hang on to it. Passes into the paint to Evans. Shot is up from Evans, and that one swishes. Michigan breaks the 70 mark here as they continue their run of high-scoring games that they've had all season.
App State firing up a prayer from beyond the 3. Does not go in. Wolverines with that
Uncontested.
rebound.
Yeah, just too much on it. Pass and bounce to Evans once again. And that one goes in. Evans quietly putting up some good numbers.
For sure.
8 points on the day, 4 for 5 from the field.
Wolverines now up by 30. Coming up on about 5 points remaining in this game.
And we got a steal from Maddie Nolan. Gonna bring it down the court. Michigan's firing on all cylinders here. Just as they say that, they give up a turnover. It's gonna be a jump ball. So I believe it will stay with Michigan, but still not a great look.
No, definitely not.
We got some more substitutions. Williams comes on in. Williams almost double-digit rebounds. She is 8.
Definitely so.
Let's see. I don't believe any of the starters are still in. Pardon me, Nolan is still in.
Okay.
Nolan's the only starter still in.
I definitely did not think that anybody was still in, but
Inbound pass, and it's tipped out of bounds from number 11, Olson.
but
Michigan hangs on to it with only a second coming off the shot clock.
yes, indeed. Michigan getting ready to pass the ball in, cannot find anybody.
Might be an 8-second, and there it is.
They are going to indeed call it. Appalachian State playing great man-on-man pressing.
So Michigan up by 30, but still struggling on certain assets of the game, whether it's inbound passes, whether it's turnovers. A lot of room for improvement. Shot is up from App State, no good. They're just shooting prayers from 3, and it's not landing.
Definitely not.
They're 3 for 16 from beyond the arc today, under 20%.
And another turnover for the Wolverines. Yes, that is indeed going to be the call. Not quite sure what the number is, but there will be a media timeout on the floor.
And I think KBA is very excited they got that media timeout, because it could not have been more needed than it was right there.
Certainly so. Wolverines playing a little bit, just a tad bit sloppy there in the last minute or so. Suppose doesn't matter too much. Can't be too angry with such a overwhelming lead, but still little cracks, little seals they need to be fixing when it comes to Big Ten play later in the year.
Yeah, so we're going to take a look at some upcoming games from the Wolverines. We got that right here. So this is actually the final game of the 2022 calendar year in Crisler for the women's team. The men have one more game here, but for the women's, this is it. They go on the road to Charlotte, technically a neutral site, as part of the Jumpman Invitational. On Tuesday, as I mentioned earlier, I'll be down there with William Gregory broadcasting both on WCBN's YouTube page and over the FM airwaves, so tune in starting at 7 p.m. for that.
Don't miss it.
UNC's the number 7 team in the nation. Then on the 28th, they go to Lincoln, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, face off on the road. Then finally, New Year's Eve, trip down to Columbus, playing the 3rd-ranked undefeated Ohio State team. Ohio State, I don't know what it is this season, but they look incredible.
It's
going to be real tough.
Unstoppable. Oh, yeah.
To pull off a win, and that'll bring us into 2023 as they return home. Penn State on January 3rd, 2023. I'll be there for that one. Should be an easy win. Penn State not looking the strongest this season, but then the toughest game of the season, in my opinion, at home in Crisler. They welcome Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes. They're an incredible team, and that's going to be a real tough one. So between Ohio State and Iowa, and then Ohio State again later in the semester, they got some tough regular season games that they're going to have to overcome. I think they need to win at least one of those 3 if they want to get a good position in the tournament. They are ranked 19th at the moment, so the tournament is certainly in the question.
Definitely.
On the table.
I would say so. Only one loss of the year so far.
Last year was just so special. They got to host 2 games in Crisler.
Oh, yeah.
Hoping to repeat that, but we'll see. Ball goes out of bounds from App State. Another turnover.
In a game rife with them.
Yes. So we got an inbound pass from the Wolverines. Going to find Camp Schroeder playing with 4 fouls here.
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on. But she is
they're
playing. I
keeping her
think
in.
Michigan at this point isn't afraid if she does foul out.
Yeah, don't really think there's a whole lot of worry about.
And we got a travel from Cam Williams. App State's going to get the ball back. Another turnover. That's going to be 20 on the evening. And you can't beat teams like Ohio State or Iowa, which we just mentioned. They play both of them in the next 2 weeks. You can't be doing that.
Can't be
with
turning
that
the ball
many
over
turnovers.
20 times. They are
Insane.
going to eat you alive.
Oh, you know it. And especially with how Ohio State's been playing and how Caitlin Clark is as a player, they will not let you forgive.
Definitely not.
Shot is up, and that's going to be a foul, and she hits the hardwood hard. They're going to say offensive, however.
Yes, that is going to be on Appalachian State there. Under 4 minutes to play here in Crisler Center. Wolverines up by 30.
I could have seen that call going either way.
So I would
think
tend to
Camp
agree.
Schroeder had both of her feet planted. Think that was the determination there, so it would have been on offense. But regardless, Michigan gets the inbound pass with under 4 minutes to go, trying to add to their lead. We got nearly, at this point I can't say not a single starter is still in, as we had Nolan taken out. And another turnover from the Wolverines. 21 on the day. Fast break for App State, and they turn it over themselves. This might be one of the sloppiest games I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I got to say, neither team really functioning at 100%, I have to say. So many mental mistakes. So many just things that you really shouldn't be seeing.
I know.
I have to say,
App
on
State
both
isn't
ends.
the most polished team. They only have 3 wins, and 2 of them are come against D2 schools.
Yes.
But we got a 3-shot from Camp Schroeder, and that's nothing but net. Michigan extends their lead, 33 points lead, as they lead 75-42 with 3:18 remaining.
Appalachian State lofting up a little hook shot there of sorts, and it will go in.
So back to 31-point difference. It's Michigan inbound pass in the paint. That's going to be a foul, and it's going to be an offensive charge.
That one's going to be called against number 13, Kate Clark. Her first foul on the day. And the Wolverines' first of the quarter, I believe, if the
Yes,
video
that
board
is
is to be
correct.
trusted.
So it's already near 7 minutes into this quarter and only 1 foul. So that's something Michigan's been better at this quarter. But
Yes,
guess what?
definitely
They've
so.
improved in fouls. They've regressed in turnovers. Not what you want to see from a program trying to vie to be a top 15 team. Right now they're ranked 19. They were 14 before the loss last week. Shot up, no good off the front rim, and that's going to go out of bounds and go for Michigan to inbound it. You got to think they move up a little bit. I think a lot depends on what else happens, but
Yeah, but
they're
this is
playing
still,
the number 7 team in the nation on Tuesday at a neutral site, but for all intents and purposes, it's a road game for the Wolverines. If they win there, you can make an argument for the top 10.
I would definitely say so. I'd imagine the ranking committee, admittedly, would probably want to rank them up, make that game a little bit more enticing for viewers.
Almost certainly. Shot is up, and that's going to be a 3 from App State. Second 3 of the half. 4th of the game, they've taken 18 shots, so still not shooting too well from beyond the arc.
Certainly not. But with about 2 minutes remaining here in the game, might as well fire those up. See if you can't get any luckier.
Passes. Now shot is up, and that's no good. Rebounded, however. That shot's no good and a foul. So we had 2 shots from Struck.
Indeed.
That's going to be a shooting foul, so 2 from the line.
Elise for the Wolverines.
Elise
stop.
Struck is at the line. First one's up. Drains it.
That is her first point of the day. She's had 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Looking for 2 points as well.
It's up, and it's good. Makes both of them. Michigan extends their lead back to 30 points even. As App State has a minute 52 remaining, and they're just trying to, I guess, pad their stats at this point. Down 30, not much else you can do.
Yeah.
Driving towards the basket, puts one up, no good off the front rim. And Michigan finally gets a rebound after some loose balls there. Passes over to Camp Schroeder, who's taking over as like a captain in a leadership role with this squad on the court right now.
Definitely so, as
especially among a lot of other freshmen and younger players.
For sure. As we said, no starters remaining here in this game with a 30-point lead. No real need to have those in.
5 seconds left. Passes on out, and we got to travel. Another turnover from the Wolverines.
Yep.
23 on the day.
Again, gotta lock those down. I mean,
I know what
said,
KBA is going to be practicing all this weekend before leaving for Charlotte.
I would imagine. I would hope so. Certainly.
Yeah, they got a really tough schedule. They got the seven-ranked UNC team. Then they got Ohio State 3rd ranked, and then Iowa, who I think is 12th.
Appalachian State launches up another 3-point prayer. Will not go in. Wolverines with the rebound. Under a minute here to play at Crisler Center. Wolverines up 30, 77 to 47. Wolverines just letting that clock ride out. Holding on to the ball, not dribbling or moving or anything. Coming up on 5 seconds left in the shot clock.
Loose ball, and what else would it be? Another turnover.
Yet another turnover.
They're going to say that's a jump ball, but the arrow points towards App State.
27.7 seconds remaining here in this game. I'd imagine both teams are ready for that final whistle to be blown so that they can get going here.
So 22 seconds left. App State likely to take the last shot as the shot clock is turned off. Taken out by the key, 13 seconds remaining. Driving towards the basket, actually gets it in, so I guess they saw the free points. 8 seconds left, and Hobbs is just going to hang on to it. 5,
Wolverines, no real need to make that last shot.
3, 2, 1, and that will do it. Here from Crisler, Michigan wins. Huge margin, 77-49, as they close off their 2022 year here at Crisler. It's been a real special calendar year, a real special 2022 season, both in the spring and now in the winter. For the women's basketball team, for the first time in history, they had a March Madness game here in Crisler. They had 2 of them, actually, and won both by big margins. Indeed. And that was in March 2020, and now they finish up only 1 loss so far this fall here at Crisler, as Michigan wins this one to extend their record to 10-1 on the season.
Definitely have to wonder how much this will influence the AP rankings. See if how much they decide this win is worth over an Appalachian State team now falling to 3-7. As we said, Wolverines' next home game, women's team, next home game at Crisler will be on Tuesday, January 3rd at 1 p.m. against Penn State.
We do have some games between now and then, even though they're all road. We got the game in Charlotte, should be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Next Tuesday on 88.3. And we have then picking up on the 3rd. Tough stretch for the Wolverines coming up. Number 7, North Carolina on Tuesday. Number 3, Ohio State on New Year's Eve. And then they play Iowa on the 7th, the number 12 team of January.
Indubitably so.
The Big Ten's really stacked this season, though. They got
oh, yeah.
Ohio State's 3rd, Indiana's 4th in the nation. Then scrolling on down a little bit, Iowa's at 12, as I just mentioned. Maryland 15, and then finally Michigan at 19. So we have 6 teams in the Big Ten in the top 20, which is incredible. Other teams receiving votes, but not in the top.
Nebraska receiving a vote on the rankings.
Vote.
Good old-fashioned classic Nebraska ball.
You gotta love it. Before we leave for the moment, we would like to remind you that we have a game coming up at 4 p.m. Michigan's men's basketball team facing Lipscomb later today, starting at 4. Myself, along with Daniel and Ryan, will be sticking here, and then we're adding in Alex Miller. This will be his very first men's basketball broadcast.
Oh, that's
so
exciting.
Tune in for that. We got some fun bells and whistles. And then finally, just a little bit of shameless self-promotion. We got some upcoming games that we'd love for you to tune in if you have the moment. Support some student radio by listening to WCBN. We got 2 games as part of the Jumpman Invitational. The women's team playing on Tuesday, the men's team playing on Wednesday, both starting at 7, both from Charlotte, North Carolina, both against UNC, but just different days. Both of those games will be on 88.3 if you're in the Washtenaw County area. And then finally, this is on front of mind for every Michigan fan, regardless of sport. Michigan football making the college football playoffs for the 2nd year in a row. They're the 2 seed for the 2nd year in a row as they face off against TCU. Undefeated for the first time since 1997. First time in program history they got 13 wins, looking to make it 14 or potentially 15 this season. Would be the first time ever to get 14 wins in a calendar year, which is something really special that the Wolverines have the opportunity to do. Tune in, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll probably get some pregame show a little bit earlier.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But with that, that'll do it here from Crisler, at least for now. We'll be back in about 2 hours exactly. Tune in. WCBN men's basketball coming your way. We'd like to thank you for supporting student radio, listening to Michigan women's basketball. And with that, have a good night and go blue.